A neuron consists of a dendrite, cell body, and axon. A dendrite receives signals from other neurons. This is the way the nervous system relays information. The process of nerve impulses starts off with resting potential, where there is no nerve impulse being conducted. There is a charge of negative 65 millivolts, where there is a charge difference between the inside and outside. A sodium-potassium pump maintains this charge by pumping in potassium and pumping out sodium. The pump is always working because there are unequal distributions between the ions, and some ions slip through pores in the membrane. The next step is action potential. Depolarization will occur inside the axon at positive 40 millivolts. This will cause the axon to fire. This happens when the sodium channels and gates open up, causing the sodium ions to flood the inside, making it positive. After this, repolarization will occur. This is when the potassium gates will open, causing potassium to flow outside of the axon. This brings the charge from positive 40 millivolts back to negative 65 millivolts, making the inside of the axon negative again. All of this can occur in a millisecond. During the refractory period, the neuron will be unable to conduct a nerve impulse, but then the sodium-potassium pump will be restored, pumping sodium out and potassium in. Resting potential will then begin for the next nerve impulse.
Nerve impulses can be sped up when traveling through an axon with a myelin sheet. These layers, made up of Schwann cells, wrap itself around the axon many times, creating insulation, and speed up the nerve impulse. There are gaps where there is no myelin sheet, and these are called nodes of Van Leer. The nerve impulse reaches the axon bulb, which is beside the synaptic cleft. Here there are neurotransmitters stored in vesicles. An influx of calcium ions will cause the vesicle to release the neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft, where it will bind to specific protein receptors in the postsynaptic neuron.
Drugs can affect the nervous system, and most specifically the nerve impulses, by blocking or mimicking neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters send nerve impulses from one neuron to another, and if the drug mimics them, they interfere with the transfer, thus messing with the flow. Parkinson's is a nervous system disorder that kills dopamine-creating cells. Dopamine sends signals to the part of the brain responsible for movement. This all happens in the substantia nigra, which is a part of the midbrain. Someone with Parkinson's would be unable to move properly. There is no specific known cause for Parkinson's.